right. I am Kia Danae, and I am back with the Everybody Has One podcast because opinions are like assholes, and everybody has one. Let's start off with why I'm a conservative, right? Okay, I'm a conservative because I believe the policies and the platform is what's best for Black people. Okay, not because I believe the people in the conservative party give a damn about people that look like you and me. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're going to start today. I got my homegirl Pavi on the mic.
Hi.
Hi. So, like I said, we're going to start off with conservatism versus liberalism. So to me, I think about it like this. Mm-hmm. Riding a bike or taking the training wheels off, right? So to me, conservatism is taking the training wheels off, letting the kid fall off the bike, skin their knee, get back. But at the end of the day, we learn how to ride a two-wheeler. Liberalism to me is keeping the training wheels on because you're scared that you don't want your child to fall, skin their knee, and hurt themselves. And so if they never learn to ride a two-wheeler, you're okay with that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I think of liberal policies like just handicapping people. You know, when you look at welfare or Section 8 or food stamps, things that I believe, you know, certain people need at certain times, but you have people that are on these things for generations. You get what I'm saying? Or if you look at Section 8 and you think to yourself, so for Section 8 to qualify, I got to remove the father from the household. You know, and these are things, like I said, people are on for generations. And then what does that teach my people? Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm concerned about. So like I said, where I come from is I'm worried about the policies and the platforms that's going to affect Black people as a whole. And I feel like when we wake up and we realize that, we'll all convert, you know?
Right.
So that's just me. But I want to get your opinion on gun control. You know, what do you think about Black people and guns?
We need to own guns.
Okay.
It needs to become more of a, similar to how Section 8 and not having a man in the household is a norm. It needs to be a norm in the household. We need to teach our children young to understand gun safety, but understand the positive of having guns in the household.
Exactly.
And I think we have been shunned and pushed out from, especially like NRAs and gun, association, things like that. And that needs to come back into our household. But first, we have to find the men and the women who are going to stand up and fight to teach our people, because I know it can get very frustrating because our people have one sense of mind, just one set of ideas that they don't want to leave. They want to hold on to it because, again, like you said, that whole idea of I don't want my child to get hurt.
Exactly.
It's like that comfortableness of being lackadaisical and just being at one point. We need a lot of us to go out there and educate ourselves so we can educate our people, because guns are important in our household because we need it for our protection.
Exactly. Because when we look at young Black people with guns, we think Tamir Rice. You see what happened with him. But you see young white kids with guns and we think, oh, they must go hunting with their dad. That's automatically where our mindset goes, as opposed to, like you said, it needs to become more normalized, which is how I feel about it. We all need guns. And if we want any kind of gun reform, the best way to get it is to start packing Black people.
Yep.
The minute we start getting a bunch of guns and the minute we start joining the NRA and all those type of things, gun control is going to happen. Because they're gonna do what they have to do to limit us. So
absolutely agree.
Okay, so this might be kind of deep, but I want to get your opinion on this. What do you think about the abortion issue?
Abortion. It is a touchy topic,
right?
But I think it's something that we need to talk about. I think education is key about what actually happens during abortion and the type of abortion, because there is pills and then there is the one where they pretty much put you in labor to take the baby out of you.
Right.
So it starts with that education. But then, again, it depends on the individual and their mindset and their upbringing and where they come from. I don't want to say that I don't agree with it.
Right.
Because I don't know if I'm putting myself in that situation. It may come in handy.
Exactly.
It sucks, but it may come in handy. If I was raped, do I really want to carry my rapist baby?
Exactly, or be forced to.
Or even if I decide to say I'm pro-life, that takes a strength as well to carry that child. So I'm for it, depending on the person's situation. Now, if you use it as a form of birth control, now that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a
now
big
we got
problem.
An issue.
So for me, I will say I am pro-abortion, pro-choice.
Pro-choice. Okay. Yeah, I'm similar with that, because the way I'm pro-life, but at the end of the day, I'm completely against making any laws that force somebody to keep a kid that I'm not going to take care of.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm not going to force anybody to have any child that I know good and well I'm not going to help you raise.
Absolutely.
But would I encourage you to keep it? I would love for you to keep it.
Right.
I would love for you to birth this beautiful, especially black baby. But if I'm not going to help you raise it, then baby, that's your decision.
Absolutely. And I have a question for you. So
Sure.
recently I've been on Instagram and I know a lot of pro-black pages talk about abortion. They say that it is killing the black population. Would you agree with that?
Definitely.
Okay.
Exactly. That's why I say I would encourage anybody. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to vote for anything that puts a law in the books that forces anybody to take care of something that I'm not going to help them take care of.
Absolutely.
Because then you end up with a bunch of children that are not well taken care of, probably being abused or in the system.
Right.
And that helps nobody.
Absolutely.
Just saying we got a bunch of black bodies out here that can't be provided for. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, okay, now we're going to get into 4-5 is what I like to call him. Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Past President Donald Trump. What are your initial thoughts on him? Or let's start here. Let's start here. Do you think he's a racist?
Absolutely. I think all white people are racist until proven otherwise. the same way they said the justice is innocent until proven guilty,
right.
But not if you're black. You're guilty until you're proven guilty again. And
right.
even when you're proven innocent, you're still guilty because they'll find a reason to make sure you're guilty.
Right.
So when it comes to white people now, of course, I know not all white people are like that. I get that. I understand that. But honestly, no, you are guilty until you prove otherwise. And so
right.
far, he's proven it time and time and time again. Even before he became president, I used to love watching this show, The Apprentice. Never thought he was racist.
Right.
Until people started coming, I'm like, oh no. Oh, he is, baby.
Right.
Don't let that fool you.
Really?
He has kept people out of his buildings that he's owned, like condos.
Right.
He's kept them out of that. He has said things to people who have been on that show that I've heard. I want to say I've heard he's called people the N-word actually on the show. So I'm like, come on. And isn't his dad a part of the KKK or was a part of it or associated with people?
Yeah.
So come on, like
Okay.
please, like really, where is this loving? I love all people, man. That ain't there.
But you know what? I don't think he's a racist.
Really?
No, I honestly don't. I think he's worse than a racist. I think he's an opportunist. And so I think he goes where the opportunity lies. I think this is a man who saw that my path to presidency was playing into being a racist. And to me, that's even worse because at least a racist believes what they're saying and they're standing on it. This is what they believe. These are their principles. These are their ideals. And you know what you get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A racist is not going to like you either because you're of a certain race or just simply because you're not their race.
Right. Wow.
An opportunist to me is way worse because they're going wherever the river flows. And that's what I feel like Donald Trump. I feel like if you provide the opportunity for him or he feels like he can get up by using you, he doesn't care what race you are.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I feel like when it came to keeping certain people out of his buildings, I feel like in his mind, there was no opportunity there. Not because you were black.
Right.
You could have been poor and white. If there's no opportunity for me to get anything out of you, you can't come into my building. Right. To me, like I said, I think that's worse because you don't know where somebody stands because all they're looking for is the come up.
Right.
And that's what I feel like that man is really into. You get what I'm saying? Because he used to kick it with black people. I mean, and once again, I think that was an opportunity when he was hanging with all the rappers, all the black celebrities. He wanted to be in that crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A racist couldn't stomach that.
Right.
Not even for the opportunity, not even for the look. It's like, I ain't doing it because I don't associate with this group of people, period, under any circumstance. Right. You get what I'm saying? And so I feel like Donald Trump I feel like he is even worse than that because he's just looking for the come up.
Wow. That makes me change my opinion, but I would have never thought of it like that as an opportunist. And you're actually right. An opportunist is much worse than a racist because they'll do whatever they need to do, even if it means cutting their own people. They will do it.
And we've seen him cut his own people time and time again. Absolutely. White people. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, hire you, build you up, da-da-da-da-da. And as soon as he feels like the tide has shifted on you, oh, you got to go, and I was never really rocking with you to begin with.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So that, to me, is what he is. But when it comes to people saying whether or not he is or isn't a racist, my number one question that I always ask is, if he's not a racist, and if you don't feel like he's a racist, then why is it that racists believe he's racist? And people never have an answer for that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like, if people thought that I was a child molester, how quickly would I come out and be like, the hell I'm not?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It would take nothing
Right.
But for him, it's like, for whatever reason, even if you're not a racist, let's say you're not one, all of the racists tend to believe you're one of them. That should be concerning to you enough for you to come out and distance yourself completely from anybody who even mistakenly thinks you're this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes.
And so that's what, but once again, like I said, I think he's more of an opportunist. And so he was downplaying whatever he thought. Because honestly, I think some of the rhetoric that the people were spewing actually made him sick.
Yeah.
But he was never going to come out and say it because this is my opportunity.
Bad publicity is good publicity. It's publicity. People are talking about you. And you know what's interesting, what you said with the whole idea is like, racists are coming out and think you're one of them. I think we can use that same logic when it comes to us as Black people. If gangbangers and baby mamas and this type of attitude is being attached to you, should make you really reevaluate how you're operating.
Exactly.
And it goes for, not just gangbangers, but anything that you do. If you say you're a person of God, but yet people who are not of God follow you, people who don't believe in that rhetoric are following you, and they believe that you are equate with them, guess what? You're really not a person of God.
Exactly.
So we all should definitely reevaluate the way that we operate and the things that we're saying and things that we co-sign, because we are looking like opportunists as well.
I agree. I completely agree. Now, this is my last thing so far on Trump. I think I'm gonna leave him here. But when it came to Trump himself, he never tweeted anything or said anything that really moved me to chorus, really upset me personally, right? So I'm not a sensitive person by any stretch of the imagination. So it would take a lot for him he'd have to really just come out and say, I don't F with you niggas.
Right.
Before I'm like, okay, now this is too much. But to me, it's more like, I like to give this example. I'm a huge University of Alabama fan, right? Roll Tide, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm arrogant about it. I'm pompous about it. I'm egotistical. And I talk a lot of shit when it comes to, Alabama. I talk a lot of shit. People hate us.
Right.
They don't hate our coach, Nick Saban. He's the most humble coach in the league. You know what I'm saying? They don't hate our players. They hate the fans. They hate people like me because we are some arrogant sons of bitches. That's just what we are. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel the same way about Trump and his supporters. It's like, even if you're like me and Trump necessarily hasn't done anything, it's all of those fans of his. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is what I think a lot of people hate. And then he takes the flack for it.
Right.
Not trying to give him a pass by any means, because like I said, he's an opportunist. He's using that because he's like, I need these people. But I think it's so much of the people that surround him that are so hateful, spiteful, bigots, whatever you want to call them. I think it's so much of that going on that it's like, I need this man to lose this election because I need y'all to lose. Whether he loses or not, I don't really care about, but I need you guys to lose. I need this to stop. You get what I'm saying? And so, but like I say, I'm a conservative, but I would never vote for Donald Trump. I couldn't do that to my people.
Of course.
Never, under no circumstance. So, what did you think about what happened at the Capitol?
White people just being white people. I mean, it's like mind your business, niggas. Mind your business.
Mind your business.
It has nothing to do with us. This is what they do. Let them show you who they are.
Right.
Okay. And when they show you who they are you going to believe them? And it's really not for us as Black people. It's really for the other people out there who've been saying, "Oh, what are you talking about?" The people be like, "You should have complied." That's what that was for. You should have complied. You should have done it, because you see how quickly they turned around. No, my First Amendment rights are being violated.
Exactly.
This and that. Hold up. These are the same people you are going after that you voted for to put in there, and now you don't like the policies that they're coming up with?
Exactly.
Trying to keep you safe? But you're upset about it?
Yeah.
What? How psychotic and messed up you have to be to think that it's appropriate?
Not accustomed to losing.
They're not. Again, like you said, it's that participation point. That's the thing that I always say. Participation points, getting participation trophies, getting medals. If you lose, you lose. You lose. Those are those people. They not used to you losing. They're used to their mom telling you, it's okay, baby. You're all right. They're constantly getting nurtured, but not having that man figure in there like, hey, you messed up, but we're going to come over and try again. We're going to keep working on this. You didn't have that. You just strictly had somebody telling you, no matter what you do, you're right.
Right.
You're right.
Exactly. And so I like to think about it like this. The one thing I can commend them on is they had an issue with their senators and congresspeople, and they took it to the Capitol.
Right.
That's one thing I want to see my people do. It's like, when we have an issue, if we have an issue with police brutality, I want to see us take it to the police station.
Right.
Now, whatever y'all choose to have, y'all choose to act once y'all get there.
That's on you.
Yeah, that's on you. But I direct your issue not to the Family Dollar or to the Target and da-da-da-da-da. Direct your issue to the police station or that officer's house. You know what I'm saying? Take it to the person's front doorstep. That's what I can commend them on. It's like they had an issue with the people they put in office and they took it to the Capitol. Now they acted a damn donkey once they got there, but at least they channeled their energy. You get what I'm saying? I just want to see more of that from us. Now, what I didn't like, especially when it came to last year during the protests for George Floyd and everything, is people saying, oh, they're burning down their neighborhoods and da-da-da. These are the same neighborhoods y'all wouldn't even drive through. Y'all don't know anybody who lives in them. Y'all never been to them. You wouldn't walk in them. You wouldn't drive through them. But now you act like you so concerned. Look what they're doing to the... Don't play us. You get what I'm saying?
We don't own anything, even in our own hood. So what difference does it make it burn down? You have insurance that will build it up in 2 minutes.
Exactly.
You're not pouring into these neighborhoods.
And they've been begging for you to pour into these neighborhoods, and now you want to bring attention to them. Now you care about them when they decide to destroy them.
Exactly.
Like, don't play us, because I feel like you're talking to us like we idiots. You get what I'm saying?
And see, it's that wishy-washiness.
Exactly.
And every time I see stuff like this, I understand why God allowed in Noah's time to wash us out the first time, because we are so backwards.
Right.
We're so backwards. We're so up. We're so down. 1 minute we're with him, 1 minute we're not. And it's like, I got to start all over. And it's sickening to me that as I am a woman of God, I do trust the Lord, but I know at the same time he ain't a foolish God. I don't think of him like the white racists think of him.
Right.
Like, my God is not just this white all being up there that, what's that damn picture that's always hung up in the black church? I don't look at my God like that. My Jesus is not white.
Right.
So when I see this, it's like, it saddens me that y'all love to use the name of God to justify the foolishness that y'all have.
Right.
The foolishness that y'all think. Y'all talk about God is love, God is love. But not in this situation.
Nope.
God ain't love there.
Nope.
God doesn't do anything here. God doesn't think you don't want to leave it in God's hand then.
Nope.
Only when we get killed.
Right.
We need to forgive and we need to be good Christian people. But when it comes time for your issues, you can't have that same mindset.
Not at all.
Interesting. Interesting.
You're right. You're right. So let's get into the new administration. As of a couple days ago, as of the 20th, we're in a new era. Yeah. We're in the Biden-Harris era for at least the next 4 years.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
I feel like we're going to end up going right back to where we were before with our quiet racism, our quiet policies to undermine black people. I mean, what has he really done? Or what has he really done even prior to that?
Right.
To help our community? What has any administration have done to really help Black people? Black people don't have anything. Like, I mean, I'm not saying a gay, lesbian, I don't have anything against you, but they have policies put in place to protect them. We don't.
Right.
We're the only community that does not have policies put in place to protect us, to even help us.
Right.
From the basic things. They tell us, pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Right.
But yet you have the DREAM Act that help a lot of Mexican, immigrant families to come into this country and to stay. Right. But we don't have that. They didn't even want to give us a little bit of change just so we can take care of our homes.
Exactly.
They fight. Like, we're the only community that anytime they have political, the politics and there's a running and stuff, that they talk about like we're inhuman.
Right.
Like, no other race has to deal with that. No one has to go to a presidential debate and hear about how they're talking about the Chinese Americans, talking about the Japanese Americans, the Native Americans. No, black people. We're talking like we're property still.
Right.
It's disgusting. So I don't expect anything to change. I expect us to go right back to where we were before with the quiet racism.
Do you prefer it that way?
I don't prefer it that way.
Okay.
But what's going to change? We as black people have to focus on becoming unified, having unity with each other and trusting each other before we can get to the point where we can go to the Capitol and say, no, you going to talk to us right now.
Exactly. I kind of think, what Ice Cube was on track trying to do.
Right.
Not that I agree with his methods at all, because I feel like he was getting played and then just tried to distance himself from it. But I feel like we should have black leaders in place to say this is what black people want. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there should be something. Back in the day, you had, Martin, but you also had Malcolm. Like, you knew that, hey, Martin has this group of black people. Malcolm has this section of black people. You know what I'm saying? The Nation of Islam has this section of black people. But these are the the three people that you need to talk to if you want to know what Black America's thinking. Right. We don't have that right now. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we need some pillars in place so that we can bring our ideas to the forefront. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to hear from everybody shouting at you at once. But if we had a direct channel where it was like, okay, I can just sit down with this person and I know this person speaks for a large group of people. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what we're missing.
And I think, well, the problem when we get there is like, I think it's very important that we do have that. But a lot of times, a lot of people that we put in these positions to hold this power to speak up for us aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Right. Like Al Sharpton, what the F have you been doing? Now, you always the one that's always up there talking, but yet for years, I haven't seen you done anything. There's no improvement. It's just like Ben Crump being a lawyer for every last black incident that's happened, but yet, nigga, have you won? Did you win? You haven't won shit, but yet you're always the leader in there. And it's like, it worries me that we put these people in power and they go up there and they switch up on us.
But you know what? Let me say this on Crump because I had, oh God, I've gone down a litany of things about issues with him, but I had to be educated on what he does. And I think he's more of, from my understanding, he hits the pockets. You know what I'm saying? So that's his job. His job is to hit the people's pockets, not necessarily fight the battle. Yeah, not necessarily prosecute them. So once I learned that because I was under the impression that like you're always stepping in, you're always coming in somewhat like an ambulance chaser. Right. That's how I thought of them. Right. And so then I had to sit down with some people, not necessarily saying that makes them my favorite person. You know what I'm saying? Because I think if you do it so often, it kind of becomes mundane. Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that same kind of, it's like, here he goes again. Yeah, right. Yeah, the minute you see him, the same thing we think when Al Sharpton shows up, it's like, here we go. Al Sharpton's here. We know what we about to get. Right. Like, and I just don't want it to become we know what we about to get. These people, they about to get screwed over legally. Right. And then you're going to get them some money on the back end. Right. But I need some, like, prosecution. I need you to pair up with the people that's going to get us, the legal action, the prosecutions, you know what I'm saying? And the convictions. Right.
The convictions. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. Right. Like like you said, just like it's just a revolving door of the same, okay, here you go again. It's going to be the same thing. It's like the cycle of violence in domestic violence. They tell you have that honeymoon stage, then you have the relaxing, everything's fine, and you have the eggshells, and then you have the explosion. Right. And that's how I feel like it is. Right. But now it's getting to a point where we're at this honeymoon stage and we're going straight to the explosion, because but then we're not even worried about the explosion number, because it's like, okay, we already know what's going to happen. He's not going to be convicted. Right. He's going to go about his business. He's going to live his life. They're going to pay him money, send him to window here and be a cop. Exactly. Because then nobody's going to bother him there. Exactly. And so I think a lot of people probably, yes, like, on a smaller scale, not everybody's really going to be doing their research. They're going to be doing what they see. They're going to be believing what they see. Exactly. And I think when it comes to having leadership in different areas, they have to be strong-minded people who are not going to do this switch up as soon as they get little change in their pocket or have a little power. Because a lot of times, like the gentleman from Kentucky, who I guess is the lawyer, who I guess the prosecutor or the DA over the whole Breonna Taylor case. Come on, who put you in there? And now you didn't give a shit about this young lady. Now you marrying this white girl. That made it even worse.
Oh God, that made it so much worse.
Oh my God, it made it worse. And I think that's probably what a lot of us are like. They're tired. They're probably really, really tired.
I think we were all tired of him though.
Yeah, we're all tired.
We're all tired of him, especially when he kept coming out and telling us, as a black man, it's like you don't.
Chabu. Don't tell me nothing as a black man.
You don't have the black experience. I think people mix up just being black with having the black experience. Like, it is an experience. You get what I'm saying? It is not something that you're born into it, but some people are, I guess, privileged enough to never have to walk it. And he seems like one of those people that never had to walk it. And now he wants to use it when it's convenient. So, you never had the experience. Like, you don't know what we're going through. You know what I'm saying? Or you're choosing to not, participate in what we're going through. And that's your choice. Right. Just know we're going to call you out on it, right?
Absolutely.
Every single time. Okay, so moving away from politics, before I get into the big topic that I want to talk about, let's start with, did you see the versus battle last night? Keisha Cole and Ashanti.
No, I wasn't going to sit there and watch two women strain their voice.
Well, I mean, once it got started, an hour and a half later.
An hour and a half later?
Yeah, it was supposed to start at 8, started at 9:30. An hour and a half.
Black people, I was on CB time.
Ashanti came at like an hour. She was there about 9, 8:50 something, 9. And then we waited for Keisha. And then when Keisha showed up, I love Keisha, so this is hard for me to say, but Keisha, baby had seemed like she, had got a little too hyped up before the battle, before the verses. Keisha was, they say Keisha was on them powdered donuts. That's what they say, because Keisha was coming. It's hard for me to say because I love me some Keisha, but my girl was, she seemed high as a kite.
Oh my God!
But she seemed like she was having herself a damn good time. And then people say she came in with an attitude. I didn't really get that, but they say she was kind of on the attitude thing that people thought Monica had during the Brandy battle. So, I mean, it was good. Ashanti took it away,
of course,
and I like that because I was rooting for Ashanti when everybody was like, Keisha gonna mop the floor with her.
Oh,
and
please.
I was like, y'all must not remember 2000,
right?
Where was
Ashanti
everybody?
She was
that girl.
She was right.
Back in the day. Ashanti was bigger at the time than Beyonce. That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't even realize before Beyonce was Beyonce, Ashanti was the bigger artist. Like, she was huge. I'm like, Keisha can't. She's not there yet. I'm gonna say that. Maybe the yet part. She's not.
That's
not
very
there.
nice of you to say. That's very nice because I wouldn't even give her yet.
She's just not there yet. I love Keisha, so I gotta throw my dog. I gotta throw
That's
my dog
nice.
a bone. Shonda Rhimes. Let's get into it. Let's get into it because let me tell you something about little Miss Shonda.
Yes.
I've had enough. So for those who don't know, Shonda Rhimes has this new show, Bridgerton, I think it's called, and I'm like 3-4 episodes in or something like that. Right. And the plot seems to be this young, handsome black man who's a duke, and he ends up being smitten with this damsel in distress type of white girl whose family has family has some sort of money or whatever, and that's basically the plot of the show. Right. Mostly white cast. The queen of this territory is this black lady. So I'm like, okay. So the queen is black. She got a coke addiction.
Oh my.
I'm like, damn Shonda. Here we go, Shonda, with the shit. So mind you, she is a coke addiction. So about episode 3, I'm on the phone with my sister, my cousin, like, hold on. I can't keep sitting through this. Like, what's going on? Y'all don't realize this is a pattern with Shonda? They like, what you mean? What pattern? And I'm like, the only things I know Shonda from is How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal, and now this show. I didn't watch Grey's Anatomy. Right. So I'm like, I'm going to need y'all to tell me if this applies to Grey's Anatomy or not. Right. But on Scandal, you had Olivia Pope, who was whoring herself out for this white president.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She had the black man that she dated, but then she did him dirty so that she could continue to whore herself out for the white president. Then you have How to Get Away with Murder, and she was married to the white man. And then she had the black cop side dude or something like that. Yeah. And so I'm like, what? Did this happen on Grey's Anatomy? And then my cousin's like, you know what? Yeah, because da-da-da-da-da. And this is how the show... And she was... And I'm like... What is up with Shonda? Like, why won't she give us a healthy black relationship?
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on this?
I am an actress, and so for me to constantly see things like that as a black actress it's disheartening. Right. We have too many of us who are a part of this community, this creating in the movie world and television world, that there's not enough of us creating topics and creating, like you said, healthy black relationships. Right. It's almost like it's a sin to go in there and have a healthy black woman. Right. And a healthy black relationship. Why is it so bad, and why is it so hard for you to put a healthy black male and female lead in your shows?
I agree.
It's I get it if you had like came out and said, well, I want to show that redemption. Like we all have a story.
Right.
And we want to show how we can build from what we come from. We're not where we came from, but I haven't heard her do that.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen her do that, but
no.
Most of the time, like, why do we have to be this way? We're not all like this. Not all of us come from this trauma or come and love broken homes.
Right.
We don't. But why do you want to constantly show us like this?
Constantly remind us and put it in our... I think it's to make us comfortable with it, so that when it happens, there won't be a shock to it. It's like, well, this is kind of what's supposed to happen because this is what happened to my grandmother and my aunts and everybody else around me. So it's okay if that happens to me. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And I think that, I don't care for it, and I don't necessarily care for Shonda. And I'm like, Ava DuVernay would never. She would never do us like this, And I was thinking Shonda was kind of going to give me like. I don't know. Maybe I just saw her as giving me, Billy Porter. Like, I don't know if she's with a white man or a white woman. From what I hear, she's a lesbian. I don't know. But neither here or there. I don't know if she does a lot of interracial. But I'm like, okay, you could give me Billy Porter vibes. He's still, an activist or whatever. He's married to a white man, but he don't play when it comes to his people. But you're kind of giving me like RuPaul vibes, like. I'm just black because I ain't had no choice.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't care for that. Like I said, Ava DuVernay would never.
I have a question. I know a lot of people, it's a lot of back and forth. When it comes to men and women part of the gay community, gay, lesbian, queer, gender community, would you consider them having the ability to be pro-black? First is, what is pro-black? And do you agree or disagree that if you are... gay or lesbian, you can be a part of that community, or you have the ability to.
Well, seeing as though, I mess with men and women, so I'm definitely pro-black. Now, I'm pro-black first,
right?
Above all, you know what I'm saying? I can't shake that. People see me coming, they see a black person coming, they don't know who I'm sleeping with. You get what I'm saying? Right. So, I definitely think you can be pro-black and. Also, I don't know, because I'm not really in the community. Because I'm the only person in my entire circle. Well, the only person in my circle that sleeps with the same gender. Yeah. And so, I don't know. I don't know how the community does. Right. Enough to speak for, because I don't even know if I'm a part of it.
Right.
Besides by happenstance.
Right. I asked that because, I'm not saying I am pro-black. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning myself. But there's a lot of questions that I have of like trying to get a true understanding of what is pro-black. When I think of pro-black, I think of pro-black family, pro-black community, pro-black business. Everything is black. Your goal is to uplift your community. Your goal is to uplift the black family, show us in a better light, and to also sew back into it.
Right.
And sometimes, I guess my mindset would be like, if you are gay, lesbian, there's nothing that's between you and God. But to say that you're pro-black is you can't create a black family. Right. And I know that's a part of that community. So it's like, can you really say that you're pro-black? When you're dating, when you're in same sex, you can't create life together. You can build a family together, but you can't create it. So is that necessary? You're not really pro-black, but you are, what's the word someone put it? You are...
Adjacent? Affiliated?
I forgot the exact term. It's more so like you are for the black liberation before you're pro-black.
Right.
Because then it's just like going back to the whole idea to say that abortion is killing the black family. If you can say that, like, yes, it is killing black people, then it's to say that if you're in if you're in that relationship, it's say you're also killing because you're not able to create life. By killing life and not creating life, that's two things that's not growing our population.
Okay.
So I wonder, is that something that they can say? Like, and then on top of that, yes, Billy Porter is for his people, but you're with a white man.
Right. Well, I think, like I said, we had this off camera, but like I said, when it comes to the Billy Porter thing, I don't know his history.
Right.
But to me, it's not offensive until you're actively refusing to date your own race.
Right.
So I don't know if he's dated 1 million black people.
Right.
And then this is who he fell in love with.
Right.
anybody does that, I'm cool. Now, if you're actively saying I'm not going to date black people as a black person, that's an issue for me. So I still see Billy as being pro-black, and maybe this is just who he fell in love with. You get what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the gay community and procreating, my godson has 2 mothers, and they recently had another child or whatever. And so they were able to create life. Now, it may not have been the conventional way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they created a black life. And so I think they may... You can't do it conventionally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what people are used to, there's not going to be a man and a woman laying in a bed. But they have created another black life, and down the line, they may create another black life.
Right.
So they're adding to our population. So I'm cool with that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. But that makes me think of how I always say certain celebrities owe us a black baby. You know, I always say that. Like, Mary J., you owed us. You know what I'm saying?
You owe us a baby.
You owe us a black baby. Like, you know, even when it came to Serena. Now, I love Serena's child, but I would have liked at least just give us one.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You know, all these talents, and I'm like, I just feel like you owe it to your community to just give us one.
Right.
Just give us one. Then do whatever you want, but just almost like that. Was it Rumpelstiltskin or something? Just give us your firstborn.
Right.
Just give us that, and then whatever you choose to do after that. But I feel like, you know, there are people that I would like to see produce black babies,
right?
Especially when they have a lot of talent and they have a lot to offer the black community. I just would like to see it. I feel like Michael Jackson owed us a black baby.
Well, no, those kids are black. Those are his, right? Those are his.
No, they're not.
You know, them blonde-haired, blue-eyed babies. Those are his.
I mean, I know we have the ability to, but no. I feel like Michael Jackson owed us. I wish he would have. You know, Whitney did it,
but she's no longer here. Neither is the one that she created, which is a sad,
right. So
sad situation.
Exactly. But I just feel like certain people owe us black babies. So
right, absolutely.
But thank you so very much.
Well, thank you for having me.
For sitting with me on today. And like I said, this is the Everybody Has One podcast. I am your host, Kia Danae, because opinions are like assholes and everybody has one.